Officially recognized as a Japan heritage in 2015, the educational heritage of early modern Japan, the origin of academics and decorum, offers an intriguing historical story. At a time when a class system still existed in Japan, schools for people of various classes were widely available. This was a significant factor that contributed to the rise in the educational level of the Japanese people. Everyone received a certain level of education and acquired a broad range of refined knowledge. This was the driving force for Japan's rapid modernization at an early stage, and this spirit of learning has been handed down from generation to generation. Today, the Japanese people are still devoted to academics and education, and they continue to value good manners. This is the story of the educational heritage of early modern Japan. I apologize for not introducing myself earlier. My name is Matthew Perry. I am the American military officer who came to Japan in 1853 with the United States President's letter that urged Japan to open up to other countries. The educational level of the Japanese people I observed at the time was surprisingly high. An example of this high level of education can be seen here in Mito City, Ibaraki Prefecture. It is my understanding that when talking about the diversity and the extensive range of education that was provided in the Edo period, an era between 1603 and 1867, we must talk about the important role played by the people of the feudal domain of Mito, who built an original educational culture. I will now introduce the many cultural assets of Mito City that constitute the officially recognized Japan heritage, the educational heritage of early modern Japan, the origin of academics and decorum, and the thoughts and emotions that went into establishing these facilities. I would love to share the stories of these grand ambitions with you. This is Kodokan. Kodokan was a clan school of the feudal domain of Mito. It was established in 1841 by the 9th feudal lord, Tokugawa Nariaki. In addition to the Mito domain warriors and their children, Nariaki's 7th son, who later became the last shogun of the Edo government, Tokugawa Yoshinobu, also studied various academics and martial arts at this school, which based its education on Confucianism. At the time, Kodokan was the largest clan school among the schools of all domains. The layout of the school buildings was based on the concept of unity of education and martial arts. At the main buildings called Seicho and Shizendo, the educational wing was built on the north side, while the martial arts wing was built on the south side. Furthermore, a Shinto shrine called Kashima Shrine and a Confucian temple were built alongside in the area regarded as the sanctuary to signify the concept of unity of Shintoism and Confucianism. In this way, Nariaki presented his founding philosophy by the layout of the buildings. This founding philosophy was carved into the Kodokan-ki stone monument and is placed inside the 8 trigrams hall located in the center of the premises. Though the Kodokan-ki stone monument is basically not accessible to the public, the document handwritten by Nariaki can be observed from the rubbed copy of the Kodokan founding philosophy, which is hung at the Tokonoma area in the main room of Seicho. Today in the Heisei period, the learning culture of the Edo period is handed down to the present-day people here in Kodokan through the implementation of occasional study sessions on the Kodokan founding philosophy, as well as lectures on the Analects of Confucius and Edo period-style math classes. In addition to the Kodokan founding philosophy, many documents written by Nariaki and scholars of the Mito domain were widely distributed as rubbed copies. By this, the academic knowledge and the philosophy of the Mito domain were handed down through generations. The skills for creating rubbed copies have also been passed down to the current generation. The martial arts that used to be taught at Kodokan are now being taught at a nearby martial arts studio called Tobukan. Here, people are daily practicing those martial arts. Through the spirit of learning and the spirit of courtesy, present-day people can connect with a sense of unity with the people of the Edo period who earnestly studied and practiced martial arts. The philosophy of education presented by Nariaki went beyond Kodokan. It was completed by combining Kodokan with this garden named Kairakuen, which offers magnificent views. The Japanese word icho-ishi literally means tension and relaxation. The philosophy behind this term is that it is important not only to work intensely, but also to make some time to relax and have fun. Kodokan was for tension, a place to study hard, to practice martial arts diligently, and to focus your mind as a bushi, a warrior. In turn, Kairakuen was for relaxation, a place to find peace of mind by having fun. What a unique and creative idea! Located in Kairakuen, this facility is called Kobunte. At the premises are the two-layered three-story building of Kobunte and the noble's private quarters located on the north side. In general, the two buildings are collectively referred to as Kobunte. Poets, calligraphers, servants, and people of the domain were invited to occasions for cultural entertainment and gatherings for creating spontaneous poetry that were held in one of the rooms of Kobunte. When you look out from a room on the third floor named Rakujuro, you will see the breathtaking view of Kairakuen with the vast Lake Semba right below you and Mount Sakura in the background. One day, Nariaki invited more than 30 guests to Kobunte and held an occasion for spontaneously creating poems about the view of Kairakuen. At this occasion, one man was praised by Nariaki for creating the very best poem. The guest's name was Kakurai Sazan. Kakurai Sazan was also one of those who were deeply involved in the education in Mito. He operated a private school in a rural farming village called Nishinjuku, where a wide range of academic and martial arts classes were taught. The number of people he educated during his more than 30 years of educational activities far exceeded 1,000 students. Moreover, in addition to his students, Sazan gave lectures to nearby residents of all ages and both genders. For this reason, commoners not only respected and loved Sazan, but also took pride in his school, Nishinjuku, and consequently the legend of his achievements was passed down through generations. The original building of Nishinjuku was damaged by fire and had to be dismantled. However, the site of the dismantled building has been preserved, and it has been designated as one of the historical landmarks of Mito City. During the excavation project implemented at the site in 2007, Dutch pottery was found. Sazan became interested in Dutch studies during his final years and was studying the Dutch language on his own. For this reason, the relationship between the pottery and his interest in Dutch studies is drawing attention. Sazan's grave is located at a cemetery near the site of Nishinjuku. The spirit of Nishin is that people must renew their minds every day. Sazan, who daily practiced this spirit, now lies side by side with his wife and is watching over this country as it renews itself. Finally, going back further down in history from the time of Nariaki and Sazan, a facility called Shokokan was established in the early Edo period by Tokugawa Mitsukuni, Nariaki's ancestor and the second feudal lord of Mito domain, for the purpose of implementing a project he had initiated to compile and edit a book of Japan's history titled Dai Nihonshi. Originally built in the city of Edo, Shokokan was also built in Mito after he retired. This site of former Mito Shokokan also speaks of the education in Mito. After the completion of the Book of Japan's History, Dainihonshi, in the Meiji period, the documents and materials collected for compiling the book were preserved in the Shokokan Library, established near the present Giretsukan building of Tokiwa Shrine. However, Tokiwa Shrine burnt down due to an air raid during the Second World War, and most of these historical materials burnt to ashes. About 1/5 of the historical materials that were stored in a safer place barely managed to survive and are currently stored at the present Tokugawa Museum. Fortunately, the draft of Dainihonshi survived and is displayed at this museum. Have you enjoyed this historical story? Prior to the introduction of the modern education system, not only the warriors of the ruling class, but also many commoners in Japan had a high level of education. They could read, write, and calculate, and had good manners. This was largely due to the widespread availability of schools for various classes, such as clan schools, regional schools, and private academies. The outcomes from the educational activities implemented at those schools served as the driving force for Japan's rapid modernization at an early stage following the Meiji Restoration. Furthermore, those educational outcomes have been passed down to the current generation as the Japanese national character. For generations, the Japanese people have been devoted to academics and education and have valued courtesy. If you ever have the chance, please visit Mito City, the location of the cultural assets introduced in this program that constitute the officially recognized Japan heritage. The educational heritage of early modern Japan, the origin of academics, and decorum. When I arrived in Japan in the Edo period, I was deeply impressed and fascinated by the country's educational culture. I am convinced that you will have an experience similar to mine when you encounter this educational heritage.